Living Fiction. Northwestern University, in cooperation with the National Broadcasting Company, brings you a radio dramatization of a timeless story, The Heart of Mid-Lothian by Sir Walter Scott, the first in a series of Living Fiction. The people of Scotland give to their great writers not only admiration, but affection. No novelist has come closer to the hearts of his own people than Sir Walter Scott. You are to hear a dramatization of one of his great works. And so, without more ado, let me turn the page and show the scene. It is noon in Edinburgh, and before the prison door, the ancient door to the prison called the Heart of Mid-Lothian, stand two people, a girl named Jeannie Deans, and a young minister of the gospel, Reuben Butler.
Leave me here, Reuben.
But, Jeannie...
I'm glad you came this far, but... Reuben, I wanted to tell you that all must be ended between us.
Ended?
Yes.
Oh, no, Jeannie.
It's best for both our sakes, Reuben.
And for what should it be ended? Oh, true, your poor sister lies here in the prison accused of child murder, but... Well, it lies neither at your door nor mine.
Reuben,
No, it cannot break plighted troth, Jeannie. Or they that plighted their word wish to keep it.
No, Reuben. I'll bring disgrace to no man's hearth.
Jeannie, are you sure that it's only your sister's distress that causes you to talk this way?
And what else could it be, Reuben?
Well, then...
Is it not a long time since we've spoken together in this way?
Aye. A long time. Sufficient for a woman to weary.
Of her old gown, perhaps, but not long enough to weary of a friend.
Yes, but
then...
then...
the wish may change, but the heart, never.
Well, then, Jeannie...
Please go, Reuben. Please.
Very well. But I shall be waiting and watching over you. Goodbye, Jeannie.
Goodbye. Oh, heaven, give me strength.
Who's so bold as to knock here? Who are you, young lady?
I am Jeannie Deans.
Oh, to be sure.
I've come to see...
Your poor sister. The provost warned me to let you in. This way, then, and mind the chains now. 'Tis a bad business, Jeannie Deans. Very bad. The law is awful strict on those who make way with their little ones.
My sister Effie never made way with anyone. She's the victim of a cruel law.
Ah, yes. I heard the lawyers talking about it. Now, if the poor girl could produce one witness who will testify that she made no secret of the birth of the child, she would have a good chance of acquittal. It would remove the guilt of concealment. It's a bad thing, that concealment. Here we are. I'll have to go in with you. It's the rule.
Effie?
Who is it?
Oh, Jeannie. Effie, you're ill. You're very ill.
Ill? What would I give to be 10 times worse, Jeannie?
Oh, Effie, how could you have concealed your situation from me? Had you spoke but one word...
Oh, what good would speaking have done? I went away among strangers and had my child, and I swear that it was taken away from me during the night. Oh, my poor baby, where is it now?
One word, Effie, but one word. If I were free to swear that you had said how it stood with you, they couldn't have touched your life this day.
Couldn't they? Who told you that, Jeannie?
Those who knew what they were saying well enough.
The lawyers?
Yes, yes. If you had mentioned your child to me before it was born, the law could never convict you of secretly
murdering it. That is what they say. Oh, before heaven, Jeannie, I do not know where the infant is.
I believe you. But the law is the law.
If I had spoken... Jeannie.
Yes, Effie?
Have the lawyers asked you to say something that would save my life? Is that it?
Why, they suggested that I forswear myself.
I see. And you told them that you wouldn't hear of coming between me and the death I am to die.
I told them that I dared not swear to an untruth.
And what do you call an untruth? Do you think a mother would or could murder her own child?
Effie, I believe you as innocent of such a purpose as the newborn babe itself.
Then, Jeannie, why?
If only it stood with me to save you with the risk of my life.
Aye, Jeannie. That's bravely said, but not so bravely credited from one who will not speak a word for me.
But that word is a grievous sin, Effie.
Oh, Jeannie, I mind all about such sins. We'll speak no more about it, and you may save your breath to say your catechism. And as for me, I'll soon have no breath to waste on anybody.
Effie, dear.
I must say, Jeannie Deans, it's cruel hard when 3 words of your mouth
Never speak more of it. It's just as well as it is. And a good day to you, sister. You'll not keep the guard waiting.
Effie, are we to part this way, and you in such deadly peril? Oh, Effie, look up and say what you would have me do, and I'll find it in my heart to do it.
Alas.
No, Jeannie. I'm better minded now. At my best, I was never half so good as you, and why should you begin to make yourself worse to save me? I'm not worth saving. God knows that in my sober mind I wouldn't want any living creature to do a wrong thing to save my life.
Time's up.
You'll come back and see me before...
Effie. Effie.
Come, lassie. That's enough now. Time's up.
Let me in here.
Wait a bit, laddie. Where do you think you're pushing?
I'm Reuben Butler. Isn't this the courtroom where Effie Deans is being tried? I'm afraid...
Wait a bit. Steady now. The courtroom's full. Besides, the trial is near done. They're calling a last witness now.
A witness for the defense? Who?
This poor Effie's sister, I believe.
Jeannie. Oh, I beg you, God, let me in. Jeannie and I... Well...
It's like that, eh?
Yes.
Well, here. I'll open the door a wee bit, and you may stick your head in and listen.
Oh, thank you, God.
But not a sound out of you, laddie.
No, not a sound.
Jeannie Deans, you come before this court in circumstances which it would be worse than cruel not to pity. Yet it is my duty to tell you that the truth, whatever its consequences may be, is what you owe to your country and to that God whose word is truth and whose name you have just invoked. Use your own time in answering the questions that will be put to you. Counsel for the defense, you may take the witness.
Jeannie Deans, you are, I think, the sister of the prisoner?
Yes, sir.
Not the full sister, however.
No, sir. We are by different mothers.
And you are, I think, several years older than your sister.
Yes, sir.
Now think carefully. Did you, observe your sister's state of health to be altered during the last few months?
Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
And she told you the cause of it, I suppose.
I'm sorry to interrupt, my learned brother, but I must ask your lordship's judgment as to whether this is not a leading question.
If this point is to be debated, the witness must be removed.
It is not necessary, my lord. Since the King's Counsel thinks it is worthwhile to object to the form of my question, I will shape it otherwise. Pray, young woman, did you ask your sister any question when you observed her looking unwell? Take courage. Speak out.
I asked her what ailed her.
Very well. Take your own time. And what was the answer she made?
She...
Take courage, young woman. I asked what your sister said ailed her when you inquired.
She said... nothing.
Nothing? True, you may nothing at first. But when you asked her again, did she not tell you what ailed her?
Alas... she never breathed a word to me about it.
Jeannie! My own sister!
time is it, guard?
Time and more for you to leave, Master Butler. You've been walking up and down this hall for 2 hours. Now, why don't you be a good fellow and go on?
I never...
Well, then, it's all over. Now they're coming out. I'll see if I can find out the verdict.
'Twas the sister's fault.
Aye, all she had to do was say a word or two.
Well, is it done? What was the verdict, sir? I pray you.
Guilty it was, of course.
Guilty.
Aye, to be hanged by the neck upon the gibbet, though why the sister...
Come now,
could-
clear the cord. Out with you. Out.
What do you think you're
I'm going now. Wait just a minute.
Oh, God have mercy on poor Effie.
Reuben.
Jeannie. Oh, my poor girl.
Poor indeed now. You've heard them?
Yes, Jeannie. It's sad.
You've seen how they look at me. Reuben, I could no more...
I know.
But there's still something I can do. Reuben, I'm bound on a long journey.
What?
I'm going to London to ask Effie's life of the king and queen.
You go to London? You address the king and queen?
And why not?
Oh, Jeannie. This is entirely a wild dream. You can never see them, save through some great lord's intercession.
Well, maybe I can get that, too. With a little help from you.
From me? Jeannie, how?
Reuben, haven't I heard you say that your grandfather did some good long ago to the grandfather of the Duke of Argyll?
The Duke... Why, of course. He did so. He saved his life, and I can prove it.
Well?
Jeannie, I'll write a letter to the Duke and beg him to stand between your sister and this cruelty. We must try all means.
Aye, we must try all means. But writing a letter alone will not do it. It's word of mouth or nothing, Reuben.
You're right. But, Jeannie, you mustn't take this journey alone. You must give me a husband's right to protect you. I'll go with you myself.
No, Reuben. You would take me with all my shame. But this is no time to marry or to be given in marriage.
Jeannie, I swear to you...
You're a man of God. You must let me depart alone. Keep up your heart for my sake. For if I am not your wife, I will never be the wife of any living man. Now write me the paper for the Duke of Argyll, and bid heaven speed me on my way.
Oh, look at the wench with the bare feet.
Where do you think you're going, young woman? Tramping the high road so early in the morning.
To London, friend.
London? Oh, you've a long walk before you, lassie.
Give our regards to His Majesty the King.
Thank you, I will.
Oh.
Will you not stay here in York another day?
No, I cannot stay. Every minute is precious.
Well, God be with you. And if you return this way, stop at the inn and ask for me.
I will. Goodbye, Mrs. Bickerton. Goodbye.
And don't forget to seek out Mrs. Glass at the Sign of the Thistle in London. She'll give you a room for love of me.
I'll not forget. Goodbye, then. Goodbye. Mistress.
Who is it, Daddy?
Well, God save us. Some ragged gypsy.
Please.
A Scotch preacher. Get
Please.
away from my door, you beggar.
Mistress, if I could just rest for an
Get
hour.
away with you. No honest woman walks the road this time of night.
I'll put the dog on her. Here, walk, here.
Out with your purse, wench.
Here's my purse. But there's nothing in it.
For empty as the king's head. Well, I'll keep it anyway.
The necklace is silver chain. Snatch it off.
I have it.
Oh.
The wench has fallen down.
Well, let her lie. We'll try the other road, Benji.
Aye, Slippery Jack, the other road.
Girl, I say, girl, are you walking toward London?
Yes, your ladyship.
Then climb in the carriage here.
Oh.
You're staggering and about to faint.
Oh. My blessings on your ladyship.
Whip up the horses, Thomas. We've a good distance to go.
London, your ladyship?
Yes, girl, this is London. Black and smoky and noisy and never sleepy.
So this is London.
Where shall I put you down?
Oh, the place on this bit of paper. Mrs. Glass at the sign of the Thistle.
Oh, yes, I know her. To your left, Thomas. To your left, you fool.
You'll not rise up till you've had another bowl of soup.
Oh, it's very good.
Imagine you coming all the way from Edinburgh. And to see the Duke of Argyll, no less.
I cannot eat any more, Mrs. Glass.
I know. Your mind is all of a skelter till you see his grace. Well, I'll send the lad with you to show you the way. Richie! Richie, you lazy lump!
What is it, Giles?
It's a country girl from Scotland, Your Grace. She's asking...
From Scotland? Well, show the lassie in.
This way, young lady.
Did you wish to speak to me, my bonny lass, or the Duchess?
My business is with your honor, my lord. I mean, your lordship's grace.
And what is it, my good girl? Leave us, Giles, and wait in the anteroom.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, lassie. Did you come through the streets in your tartan?
No, sir, I came in the street coach.
Well, what's your business, my bonny woman? Time and tide, you know. Wait for no one.
Your honor. I mean, your grace.
Never mind my grace, lassie. Just speak out.
Sir, I'm the sister of that unfortunate Effie Dean.
Ah. I've heard that story. A case of child murder, wasn't it?
I've come up from the north, sir, to see what can be done in the way of a reprieve or a pardon.
My poor girl. You made a long and sad journey to very little purpose. Your sister is ordered for execution.
Yes, I know. Only I understand there's a law for reprieving her if it's the king's pleasure.
Certainly there is, if it's the king's pleasure. Tell me, girl, what possessed you to address yourself to me?
It was yourself, sir.
Myself? I'm sure that I never saw you before.
No, sir. But all the world knows the Duke of Argyll is his country's friend. And, well, I have another reason for troubling your honor.
And what is that?
But take this letter, sir, and read.
My grandfather, captured by English troopers, his life saved by Stephen Butler. Why, yes, I recall the story during the Stuart troubles. Well, this Stephen Butler was your grandfather, I suppose.
No, sir. He was grandfather to a neighbor's son. To a sincere well-wisher of mine. I mean...
I understand. A true love affair, eh? Stephen Butler was the grandsire of the lad you are engaged to.
Was engaged to, sir.
He's not deserted
Oh,
you.
no, sir. He would be the last to leave a friend. He's a young clergyman, sir, and it wouldn't be right for him to marry the likes of me.
You're a singular young woman. What reason have you for thinking your sister innocent?
Because, Your Honor, she has not been proved guilty.
A good answer, lassie.
God bless you, sir, for that very word.
It's contrary to English law to take that for granted, which is not proved.
Yes.
But what can I do?
I'm only here because you alone can answer that.
Confound it. Well, I'll do what I can do.
Yes, sir?
Well, never mind. Leave us now, and you shall hear from me tomorrow. And, by the way, wear your tartan.
Oh.
And be ready when I send for you.
Oh, I will. Oh, and, sir, don't be beaten back or cast down at the first rough answer.
I'm not apt to mind rough answers, lassie. I'll get along with you now.
Yes, sir.
I'll do my best. But God has the hearts of kings in his own hands.
What is this affair, my lord?
Your Majesty, the matter concerns an unfortunate young woman in Scotland, now lying under sentence of death for child murder. It is highly probable that she is innocent. My humble petition to your Majesty is to obtain your powerful intercession with the King for a pardon.
I've had enough of Scotch pardons.
If your Majesty would condescend to hear my countrywoman herself.
She's here?
Outside the door, your Majesty.
Well, let her in, then.
This way, lassie. Now bow low.
Stand up, young woman, and tell me what sort of barbarous people your country folk are, where child murder has become so common as to require the restraint of laws like yours.
If your ladyship pleases, there are many places besides Scotland where mothers are unkind to their own flesh and blood.
You should tell this lady the particular cause.
Be silent.
Now,
how did you travel up from Scotland, young woman?
Upon my foot mostly, madam.
Well, you must have had a very fatiguing journey, and I fear to little purpose. Since if the king were to pardon your sister, in all probability it would do her little good. For I suppose your people of Edinburgh would hang her out of spite.
They bless His Majesty for showing compassion.
His Majesty has not found it so lately. I suppose my Lord Duke would advise him to submit to the will of the rabble?
No, madam. But I would advise His Majesty to be guided by his own feelings and those of his royal wife.
Well, my lord, all these fine speeches do not convince me of the propriety of showing favor to your very disaffected and intractable city of Edinburgh.
But your ladyship...
Speak, young woman, have your say and be done with it.
My sister Effie still lives, though her days are numbered. Oh, madam, if ever you knew what it was to sorrow for a sinning and suffering creature, whose mind is so tossed that she can neither be called fit to live or die, have some compassion on our misery. Save an honest house from dishonor, and an unhappy girl, not 18 years of age, from early and dreadful death. Alas, it is not when we sleep soft and wake merrily that we think on other people's sufferings. Our hearts are light within us then, and we are for fighting our own wrongs and fighting our own battles. But when the hour of trouble comes to the mind or to the body, and when the hour of death comes, well, that comes to high and low, then it isn't what we have done for ourselves, but what we have done for others that we think on most pleasantly. And the thought that you have intervened to spare a poor thing's life will be sweeter in that hour than if a word of your mouth were to hang all the disaffected men in Edinburgh.
Madam,
This is eloquence. Young woman, I cannot grant a pardon to your sister, but you shall not want my intercession with the king.
God bless your Majesty. I think, Jeanie, you have every reason to congratulate yourself on the manner of your interview with Her Majesty.
But she promised nothing.
Ah, no, Jeanie, the pardon is quite certain.
What does your honor say?
The pardon is certain. There is no doubt of it.
Oh, God be praised. God be praised. And may the good lady never want the heart's ease she has given me this day. And God bless you too, my lord.
As to this pardon, I must get it passed through proper forms. I have a friend in office who will do that favor for me. And then, Jeanie, away to Scotland with it by fast messenger. Meanwhile, you may write to your friends by post of your success.
And does your honor think it will do as well if I were to slip my ways home again on my own errand?
Much better, certainly. But the roads are not safe. Jeanie, I have a plan for you. One of the Duchess's attendants and one of mine are going to Scotland in a light carriage. And there'll be room for you to go with them. Oh. Now will that do?
In a grand carriage? Oh, your worship. I mean your lordship, your grace. Does your honor like cheese?
Like it. Cheese and cake are dinner for a king.
I'll send your worship the biggest cheese in all Scotland. here at Rosenheath. Effie, you'll not stay another day.
Oh, no, Jeanie. I've stayed too long as it is. I have all the happiness I deserve now that I've seen you, and nobody shall say that I came with my cheat the gallows face to shame my sister among her grand friends.
Oh, I have no grand friends. None but who are friends of yours. Reuben Butler and our father. Oh, Effie, it's better sheltering under an old hedge than a new planted wood.
It's in vain speaking, Jeanie. I must follow my husband.
Your husband. I'll say no more then. If he's in hiding and an outlaw to the king, as I suppose, your place is with him. He has never
found our child? No. He believes the gypsies stole the infant away while I slept and he was hiding from the king's officers.
Well, you'll go to the house and say goodbye to our father at least.
That I will do. And now, for I see one coming who would be much happier with you alone.
Oh, Effie would...
Oh, no, Jeanie, stay. And remember, you're no longer in Edinburgh where tongues are long.
Good morning to you, Mr. Butler.
Mister? Why, Jeanie, what's come over you?
I was bred to show respect to a minister of the gospel who has his own parish.
Oh, 'twas your influence with Argyle that won me my parish, Jeanie.
Oh, no, Reuben. 'Twas the letter about your grandfather.
Well, whatever it was, I'm come to ask you...
Oh, to go to the house? Because my father wants
No,
me.
not at all, Jeanie. We...
Is it a song you're singing to me,
It is
Reuben?
no song. I'll ask you again.
I'm sure that my father wants me.
He hasn't spoken a word for you. Jeanie, listen.
Well, then I'm sure that I want to see my father.
Oh, blather, Jeanie, will you stand still a minute?
Mr. Butler, 'tis a question I must ask my father.
Well, the question can wait. I have one myself.
Oh, Reuben, you look so foolish. 'Tis surprised my father will be when I ask him how he would like to see his daughter a minister's wife.
A minister's? Oh, Jeanie, stand still.
And how can I move with your arms around me, Reuben?
The Heart of Mid-Lothian by Sir Walter Scott is the first in a series of living fiction presented each week by Northwestern University in cooperation with the National Broadcasting Company. The Heart of Mid-Lothian was adapted for radio by Herbert Gorman. The cast and directors were students of Northwestern University. Jeanie was played by Nancy Kafesjian, Reuben by Bob Reitz, Effie by Faith Kellogg, Queen Caroline by Millette Alexander, and the Duke of Argyll by Richard Swift. Others were Dave Adams, Earl Bark, Toby Carlson, Marie Chisholm, Vivian Newberg, David Press, and Bert Weil. The assistant director was Bob Pitt. The director was George Hurd. The entire production was under the supervision of John Cowan. This is Hugh Downs speaking. This is the NBC Radio Network.